So, how are you living your life? Are you optimistic or pessimistic? Are you making wise choices? Let's think about that for a minute. Hello again, everyone. I'm Eli's dad with Project Eli, where we educate, we lead, and we inspire. And I was inspired by a really kind of entertaining article by a gentleman named Matthew Royce entitled 51 Sentence Life Lessons, Advice on How to Live an Extraordinary Life. Let's go over them. I think you'll find them interesting and amusing as I did. And let's make some comments on them, okay? First one, kindness goes a long way. You know, one of the things you have to remember is you can't let your emotions take over, and always start from a position of kindness, and gives you a little, makes you a little bit more civil. I see people that just start from the foundation of being rude, and I can't wait to get away from those people. And when you start that way from rudeness, people don't listen to what you have to say, they listen to your attitude. People listen to attitudes. Alright, so when they listen to attitudes, if you have something to say and you're going to critique, come from a position of kindness. Second, the best and most beautiful things in life are free. You know what's really kind of ironic is the things that you treasure the most in life are the things that have been given to you by your Creator. Or I should say the things that people take for granted the most of the things that have been given to you by your Creator, such as the ability to think, the ability to speak, sight, hearing, those types of things, until you lose them. And then the things that you place value on are things that you have to spend money on, you know, a fabulous car, a fabulous house, so on and so forth. But the things that you get for free are underappreciated until you lose them. And then they become everything. And when you have a particular shiny object that you want to obtain, you know what? You can always get another one. Keep that in mind. The best and most beautiful things in life are free. Failure is your greatest teacher. People that are able to embrace this concept are the ones that really superachieve, because they see failure as feedback. They don't see failure as an endpoint. They see failure. Failure doesn't come until you decide to say, okay, I failed. That's the end. Make failure your teacher. When failure is your teacher, when you see it as feedback, if you have a real burning desire and you're sending that vibe out there to the infinite mind partners with you, and when you go in the wrong direction, that's how the infinite mind communicates and says, hey, you need to change your direction, you need to change your paradigm. Very, very simple, but people don't recognize that, and what happens is it's actually a positive. It's a positive. It moves you in the right direction. You are responsible for your own happiness. Let me tell you something very simply. People decide for themselves their own attitude. You determine your attitude, and you do that in the morning. So that's why a morning routine is so critical, because if you decide today is going to be a day where I'm happy, I'm going to be positive, that's the way it'll be. That's why one of the things we so strongly recommend is you give yourself positive thinking time and you envision things happening the way you want them to happen. When you do that, and then you see yourself achieving the goal, and you look in the mirror and you say, yes, I've achieved my goal, you're already with a positive attitude. Happiness is a decision that you decide for yourself. Be impatient with your actions and patient with your results. One of my mantras, you need to be patiently impatient. Okay, it sounds like an oxymoron. It is and it isn't. All right, be patiently impatient. What does that really mean? It means that you need to be patient about achieving something and impatient about taking the activity that gets you there. So I'm doing this, okay, I'm succeeding, I'm failing, I'm succeeding, I'm failing, I got a new starting line. All right, I'm making progress. Be impatient about those things. Get yourself in motion. Don't be a procrastinator. Get off your butt, get yourself in motion, and be patient about achieving the results, because you're partnering when you have that burning desire with the infinite mind, and the infinite mind has its very own timetable. Keep that in mind. The infinite mind has its own timetable. Yeah, you want to set, objectives, time limits for yourself, but you still need to be flexible with that, because depending upon, how big your particular burning desire is, how big the achievement is that you want to receive, you have to be able to be patient, because the infinite mind's timetable is not the same as yours. Believe in yourself before anyone else does. That gives you confidence. When you have confidence, then you're going to move forward. But the point is, how do you do that? How do you believe in yourself? You have to see yourself achieving that goal that you want to achieve. And most importantly, when you break things down into small components, into small achievable bites, small achievable steps on the staircase, it's not like you have to, leap a floor in a single bound. You don't need to be Superman. What you need to do is just one small step at a time, something achievable. Make it just a little bit longer than your reach. Have your grasp exceed your reach by just a little bit. That's how you believe in yourself, is by accomplishing those little deeds. So chunk it down, make it believable, make it conceive, believe, achieve. All right, I didn't make that up, but it's a good mantra. Befriend fear, don't fight it. The things in life that are worthwhile, you have to be able to take a little risk about. One of the examples that I like to give is, you're there with a bunch of, when you're younger with a bunch of kids, you're going on the roller coaster, and you're saying, so I don't want to go on the roller coaster, but everybody else is doing it, so you end up doing it, and then after you did it, you say, wow, that was an exhilarating experience. Life is a roller coaster. There are a zillion exhilarating experiences, but if you just sit back and sit on the bench, you're not going to experience them. So you need to get up, you need to get out there, you need to, the best fruit is on the edge of the limb. So you got to get out there on the limb sometimes. You've got to be able to take risks, okay? Life without risk is really kind of droll and boring, am I right? Stay curious and question everything. This includes even your basic foundational premises that you embrace. All right? You've got to be, when you're not questioning anything, when you're not curious about things, when you're not learning things, now you're merely just existing, you're not living. Life is about experience, and life is about learning, and life is about having new things happen to you. Hey, stay curious and question everything. The people that know it all, are the ones that just kind of wither away because they're not going for anything. One of the things about life is you see it happen all the time where, a couple that's married for, 50 or 600 years together, when one of them dies, then the other one doesn't have a reason to live, and they die also. When you have that reason to live, when you have that excitement, when you have that curiosity, it just gives flavor to your very existence. Number 9, when one door closes, another one opens. When one bad thing happens, you don't look at it and say, all right, that's the end, it's over, nothing I can do about that. You say, all right, where can I go from here? How can I turn that negative into a positive? Best example of that, something very realistic that happens to many, many people in life, is they're working at a particular job, and for whatever reason the company downsizes and they say, sorry, we have to let you go. Then you're forced to make a decision to find something new. When that door closed, all sorts of new doors open to you. And in many cases, people just go through, on the treadmill of life at a particular job, and they're unhappy with it. Actually, an event where they do downsize and let you go is a positive thing. It doesn't seem so at the time. It's, oh, woe is me. Or the same thing is true with the relationship. If a relationship's not working out, better find it out sooner rather than later, before you have tremendous number of commitments that you've made. When one door closes, another one opens, and that's one of the skills that is very hard to obtain for an individual. You have to be able to sit back and say, okay, this happened. What is new and open for me? How can I turn this negative into a positive? Life isn't as long as you think. Eli, I can tell you that for a fact. There are so many things that you want to get done at the end. In the beginning, like you are right now, you say to yourself, oh, I got so much time, I'm indestructible, nothing could possibly happen. Don't put things off. If you have a dream, a goal, ambition, go for it. See it, feel it, smell it, taste it, touch it in your mind. Take small steps to achieve it, because stuff happens over the course of a lifetime. You can get ill, you can get sick, you could die. There's just so many things that can happen. Embrace life while it's happening. Don't take it for granted. And Eli, trust me, the older you get, the more you value life. All right, we've given you 10 kind of neat little one-sentence life lessons. Once again, big shout out to Matthew Royce, the author. Next time we get together, we're going to go over 10 more. I really like this. I found this very, very interesting. And until that time, hey, don't ration the passion, fashion the passion. I'm Eli's dad.